I went back to a Pruvit event, not to join. No, no, no. Not to get inspired. I just wanted to see what's left of the company that once convinced me that their powdered ketones were going to change the world. And it's not looking great. But before I show you what it looks like now, I feel like it's important to go back, like way back. To really understand how far this company has fallen, you've got to see where it started. The lights, the stages, the hype. It was like a self help concert for powdered ketones. Thousands of people screaming about freedom while handing over their paychecks and buying a bunch of products that they don't need. And yeah, I was there. Front row, unfortunately. A few days ago, I went to the Palms Casino here in Las Vegas, not as a distributor, but as an observer. I used to be in this company. I got out in 2021, thank God. I used to throw local events. I used to attend events just like this, but this time I wanted to see what it looked like from the outside. My family and I headed to the Palms to have dinner first and to investigate second. Because if I'm going to revisit an MLM event and put myself in that scenario, there's going to be carbs and delicious food involved at least. When we got there, I stopped at the concierge desk. They had to pull out the event book to find where the Pruvit meeting was even being held, which tells me that there weren't a ton of people asking about it all day like it used to be. Once they pointed me in the right direction, it was all gravy, baby. Walking through that lobby felt kind of surreal. You had the hustle and bustle of the casino, but then you had this banner that was sitting in the middle of two elevators with the same kind of buzzwords. But this time, I wasn't fully indoctrinated in the event. I was just there observing and taking notes. We decided to grab dinner before doing any filming. My husband, my son, my parents, my daughter was at work. A little pre infiltration meal and, some conversation, enjoying each other's company. And honestly, it was really nice just being there for dinner and not feeling like you have to mastermind every second while shoving food in your throat and running from one event to the next. It was nice to just sit there and observe all the hustle and bustle and not be a part of it. A few people from the event kept glancing our way, and you know how you can tell when somebody recognizes your face, but they can't quite place you? That's what this felt like. They didn't look familiar to me, but they kept looking over. Maybe it was the blue hair. I don't know, but it was quite interesting. And our waiter, he told me a few Prove It folks had already pitched him. I wasn't shocked by that. People in MLM are taught to basically infiltrate, if you will, whatever space they're in, whatever casino, hotel, or whatever they're in. There were several people that gave him business cards, and he said that he empties his wallet every night and throws them out. And honestly, I feel like that's king behavior. I feel like he's the hero of today's video. Then, unfortunately, he mentioned that he has a health condition, and I can't remember what exactly that health condition was. And he said that once people from the event found out about it, because he had limited mobility of his neck, I think it was, they swarmed him, claiming that they could fix it. Of course they did. That's what every MLM rep does, right? They turn somebody's diagnosis into a sales opportunity. So disgusting. Obviously, I did not include him in this video. I'm not going to say any of his information or anything like that. He is a private citizen, but I was grateful that he shared his story with me and that I could share it here with you guys. After dinner, we walked towards the event space, and the first thing that stood out was this big pink banner. And on it, I noticed something that I'd never seen before at a Prove It event, at least on the marketing: a person of color front and center. Now, honestly, that's great to see because representation matters. But having been in this company before, I can't help noticing how dramatically their visuals have shifted. It feels like a PR decision more than real diversity to me. But still, it's better than the all beige crowd shots that they used to roll with. The event itself was in the Moon Room. I looked it up, of course. It holds anywhere from 90 to 500 people, depending on how it's set up. That sounds decent until you remember that this company once filled entire theaters, like the Palace in Louisville. So, yeah, it can technically hold 500 people if they stack chairs and count the ghosts of distributors past, I suppose. At the time I filmed this, only one single post on social media was tagged in the moon room from the whole weekend. One. Uno. One. For a company that used to be deafening online, that silence says so much to me. And the numbers also back that up. According to Business for Home, their revenue, Pruvit's revenue to be specific, has nosedived from hundreds of millions to a fraction of what they once brought in. Smaller rooms, fewer posts, shrinking checks, and lots of leaders that have left and gotten out of MLM or unfortunately joined another MLM company. And Pruvit's social media, it's so bland, it makes boiled chicken look seasoned. It's so embarrassing.
Okay, so here's what I've noticed so far. They have here, you'll see the sign right there. They have security there. That's cool. And what they are doing is they have an event up in the tower. You have to have a badge, of course, because it's Pruvit, to get into. It felt a little weird to try and like get up there, like a little weird. But yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of people, which I'm fascinated with. They have two theaters here. I know they were having an event at one, but I'm actually surprised at, from the stories and things, how few people are actually here compared to what it used to look like. I mean, are we surprised? Are we really surprised? Not really, because we know what their revenue looks like. We know what's been going on. I've done tons of videos on Pruvit. Y'all know that. But so that's the tea, I guess. I wish there was more. Have I run into Kelsey Ray? Have I run into Courtney? No, but I think that they're still in the event, even though it was supposed to end 40 minutes ago. Was that a Pruvit person that just walked by me? Could be. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys have loved this little vlog. And if you have loved it, maybe I'll do more of it, because this was a lot of fun.
Here's what I noticed while I was there. Security guarding a mostly empty space in between two elevators, one taking you up to the event space and the other to the hotel side. So I'd imagine from the lack of traffic coming and going from that side of the elevator up to the moon room, there weren't probably a lot of people there. The energy that used to feel electric now feels like someone forgot to pay the light bill. It's so weird, you guys. And while we were wandering around, I spotted an Empire member in the wild, still proudly wearing that old hoodie with the word culture underlined, like it's a core value instead of a warning label. The irony kills me. It's almost as if the jokes write themselves these days, because if there's one thing that this company's been losing, it's culture. Unless we're counting the cult part, then I suppose they nailed it. That's not a compliment. Brian, relax. You know, it's funny. Back in the day, missing an event was treated like betrayal. You'd get guilt tripped about not believing in yourself or not believing in your why or the company or, being future focused enough. Flights and hotels and outfits always pitched as an investment in your future. And really, it was an expensive way to stay emotionally hooked. One thing about MLM companies is they absolutely must have you emotionally and financially hooked, or the companies would never survive. And now the silence says so much. These weekends used to dominate social media. Reels of people screaming, event hashtags about freedom and family, and obnoxiously pitching anybody and everybody around that space. And this time, nothing. Even the top leaders have been oddly quiet. It's weird because the whole culture used to revolve around being so loud. The hype, the matching shirts, the rehearsed authenticity, all of it seems to be gone. What's left feels more like brand cleanup than belief. And here's the thing, I don't say any of this to mock the people still in it. In fact, I hope they all get out of that company and don't join another MLM company, because I've been there. I know how it feels to chase purpose and belonging, but watching it shrink this much, it's hard not to feel a little vindicated. The whole vibe walking through the casino was quiet, near the event. Obviously, the casino is loud, but the event space was almost eerie. It was like the security guard was standing by himself and people were going to the hotel side, but there weren't many people going to the elevator leading up to the moon room. It's like the echo of a company that used to yell about changing lives, now whispering to whoever's left and is willing to listen. And as we walked out that night, I couldn't help but think about how different it all felt. No crowds spilling out of the ballroom, rushing to the bathroom, rushing to grab some snack in between where you think, okay, I'm not going to really miss anything with this speaker or what's going on right now. I'm going to run and grab something to eat and come back, or you're mixing up ketones. Oh God, in the lobby, the mixing of ketones and grabbing whoever and including them in your story. No music blasting, no one rushing up with a shaker cup asking if you'd heard of ketones. Just silence. And honestly, it spoke volumes. There's a point where hype runs out of fuel and what's left is the truth. And that's exactly what this felt like. That's when I pulled out my camera on my phone one last time.
And there we have it, friends. The land of ketones and false hope. Friendly reminder to not join a multi-level marketing company.
Well, quick mission, I would say unaccomplished. Didn't run into Kelsey Ray, didn't run into Courtney. But we came, we observed, we ate, and now I got to make this video. So thanks for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.